3rd District. Captain Hong, are you ready to go?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I can go. So what I did is I prepared the crime stats for PSA 303 for the month of August. Overall, we've had a slight uptick in crime, except for motor vehicle thefts, which has gone down. And that was one thing that we were trying to focus on because in the previous months, we've had an increase in motor vehicle thefts. So just a disclaimer for the numbers. Typically, it compares it to the same period 1 year ago. And crime stats from 1 year ago was at the height of the COVID closures. So a lot of the numbers are skewed. But what I can share is for all violent crimes in the month of August, we've had 7, 2 robberies, 4 assaults with a dangerous weapon, 1 sex abuse, and then we had 61 total property crimes. The ones that I will typically point out are the burglaries. We had 3 reported. And just going over the assaults with dangerous weapons, I think the one that was most recent on the 28th around 8:50 p.m. in the 2400 block of 20th Street, we had sounds of gunshots and officers arrived to locate a juvenile victim with a gunshot wound in the torso, transported to the hospital in stable condition. That's currently an open case. I don't have any further information to share other than if any members of the public have additional information or video, photo, evidence that may help the investigators, they can call 202-727-9099 or text the information to the crime tips 50411. And all that information will be forwarded to the assigned investigator, and it's an active investigation, so they're continuing to follow up on that. For the other 3 assaults with dangerous weapons, 2 of them are closed cases. One was a domestic crisscross that was closed by arrest. The other was an individual that slashed towards a victim with a knife. We located and placed the suspect under arrest. The last case was an individual located with a laceration on the right chest, transported to a hospital in stable condition. That's an open case, which occurred on the 6th, August 6th, around 3 p.m. in the 1700 block of Euclid. The 2 robberies that we had, both occurred on the 27th. One happened at 11:31 p.m. in the 2400 block of 18th Street. That was a closed case. An Uber driver observed the suspect taking the wallet from an intoxicated passenger that was getting on their vehicle. The suspect was located and placed under arrest. And the other robbery report that we received was 1:25 a.m. of the 27th in the 1800 block of Ontario Place Northwest. The victim reported 4 suspects assaulted him. One pointed a weapon, a gun, and taken was a wallet, iPhone, and AirPods. That's an open case that's being investigated at the time. For the burglaries, we actually had a press release recently where we had an arrest that closed out 7 burglaries. And I believe one of those was the one reported in Kalorama Road, 2000 block. All these were involving locations where it was unoccupied, where it was business. So there were no victims that were at risk, but they just returned to the property later on and discovered that there was forced entry or that CCTV showed a suspect taking property. And right now we have one of those closed, and out of the 3. The other 2 are open and being investigated. I did have a question. I know that Adams Morgan Day Festival is coming up on Sunday the 12th, and I just wanted to see if there was any additional information you may have that would help us in preparation. Otherwise, I'm sure we'll get some more information in the coming days.
Yes, thank you for your update. I will open it up to the panel, to the neighborhood to see if they have any comments about those crime updates. But thank you for that. I don't have any questions about, because you answered them. I was wondering about if you thought that some of those crimes were perpetrated because it was August and people were out of their houses, right? Is that, you were saying that there was none of the property crimes involved people? Is that what you said?
Yeah, from what I can see, all the burglaries were burglary 2nd degree. So it wasn't someone was home and somebody broke in at the time that they were home. They just, for instance, the individual left for 2 hours, came back home, and then they observed that somebody forced entry and took a lot of property.
Okay. I'm going to answer your Adams Morgan Day question in a minute after I open it up for any questions to you from the neighborhood. Please unmute yourself or raise your hand if you have a question for Captain Hong.
I had a question, Captain Hong. I was wondering if you had any other information about the raid that that MPD assisted on the DC Glass Gallery earlier this week or last week.
Oh yeah. So I don't have additional information. When I looked into it, what I found out was that it was just a series of search warrants that was led by a federal agency, and it was nationwide. Just the locations that were in the District of Columbia, our narcotics division assisted them, which is typical. But it's not a case that we are leading the investigation on, so I don't have additional information.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody else raising their hand. Captain Hong, I unfortunately have not been briefed about Adams Morgan Day. I know that half of it is virtual, whereas there will be some activity on the streets. I can reach out to the coordinator of Adams Morgan Day and make sure that she gets back to you in the next couple of days. But I don't have any further information than that.
Okay.
I can give you a little bit.
Thank you, Brian.
It's not our event, but we participate and we help. Our guys help clean up and we contribute to it. But so it's street's not going to be closed, obviously. There are going to be a bunch of vendors in the plaza in front of Marie Reed School. There's going to be music in Calorama Park. We actually have a drag queen story time in Unity Park. And then there's going to be a book sale going on in the plaza in front of BB&T. And then businesses in general are, a lot of them are likely to have a little more going on the sidewalks and such to try to make some money from folks who almost certainly will be attending, and many of whom may be coming expecting the roads to be closed and finding them not. So, but I think the weather looks good and should be a good turnout.
Thanks, Brian. That's very helpful. Also, Commissioner Irani just joined, and maybe Commissioner Irani. Commissioner Irani, are you on?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I'm a little late.
No, that's fine. Captain Hong was wondering if, and Brian just gave a short update, but I was wondering if you knew anything more about MPD presence during Adams Morgan Day this Sunday.
I actually don't know. I think Brian, did you? I came into the middle of or near the end of what you were just saying, but I don't recall, and I don't think it's necessary to have a heavy police presence on Adams Morgan Day.
Yeah, I think everything wraps up by 6. Honestly, it should just be a busy weekend day on 18th Street.
Yeah, makes sense. Captain Hong, is that your understanding too?
We
Captain
can't.
Hong, you are muted. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I knew it was on our radar, so just wanted to get some more info. But what I'll be doing is putting that date on our watch commander book, so the watch commanders on that shift will be aware, and our units will also know to give special attention.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any information about the shooting that occurred on 20th Street? I think it was 20th.
Oh yeah, so it's an open case being investigated right now. So I don't have details to the investigation, but the circumstances were that on the 28th around 8:50 p.m. in the 2400 block of 20th Street Northwest, we had sounds of gunshots, and when officers responded, we located one juvenile victim who is sustaining a gunshot wound in the torso. That victim was transported to a local hospital in stable condition. And at this time, the investigators are doing the rest of the investigation. And earlier on, I provided a phone number and a number where text tips could be provided by any members of the public that may have information or videos, photos that could help in that investigation.
Great. Well, thanks for providing that the tips line, that information. Looking forward to getting, I hope good tips come through, and looking forward to finding the suspects.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Clem, were there other matters before we move on to Entice Lounge?
No, I opened up questions to the neighborhood, and we and everything is fine with the MPD portion of the agenda. Thank you so much, Captain Hong.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have someone on the line? Could you raise your hand on Zoom or dial *9 if you're dialing in to speak about Entice Lounge? Entice Lounge is going to be located on Columbia Road, and recently applied for a ABC restaurant license, so CR license. Mr. Amante, is it?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please introduce the concept and what you plan on doing over there at 1725 Columbia Road. Go right ahead. You have the floor. We can all hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm taking over from Ermias. I think you guys might know him from back in 2018.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
never opened though, right?
yes, he ended up with some situation, and I do have a bar on 8th Street. This is going to be the second place, and will be Ethiopian restaurant / seafood. And there will be like cigar. I'm gonna do like upstairs for cigar lounge. It's
Oh, I
not.
see.
Yeah, it's not like a club or anything. I'm just trying to expand my name to Adams Morgan.
You said you had a bar on 18th Street today?
No, I have
Which is
called Allure on H Street, Northeast DC.
okay. Okay. Allure in Northeast DC. Okay. Doesn't
Yes,
ring a bell for me, but well, great. So, and that's a restaurant bar in Northeast.
yes.
And are you related to Armias? Is it a related party?
No,
Not necessarily familial, but will Armias still be a part of the business?
no, he's not. And I don't really know him that much, but we know each other through the process of opening. I opened my first one 2019, and I made him. He sells some materials. That's what I know him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do recall negotiating a settlement agreement with Armias, and also the KCA had signed on along with a group of residents nearby, Infusion Lounge. Unfortunately, as you stated, that he ran into a situation, but it never opened. So it'll be good to meet and understand what it is you plan for the space in more detail. Is it mostly food, and are you seeking an entertainment endorsement as well?
So I'm trying to have like for the day party, like a small band. They just it could be like a guitar or a keyboard. It's not like a really band, just for entertainment.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, I
And
look forward
also,
to.
yes, and also like I will have like the dress code and all those things that to make sure the neighbors not worry about anything. I feel like I have a little bit experience through my first bar with dealing with the neighbors.
And through the infusion concept, we have there's a settlement agreement from that. We could use that as a starting point, or you can tell me more. We can after we understand a little bit more about your business plan and what you're trying to do, fashion a settlement agreement that's more appropriate for your business plan. But looking forward to working together on that. And I assume that Calorama citizens and perhaps Reed Cook Neighborhood Association would also like to, usually the civic associations of the neighborhood, one or both of them tend to sign on to these settlement agreements. So as part of our discussion, we should invite them as well.
Okay, so you are you asking me to send it to you my business plan? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if you have a business plan, please do share it. If you don't, that's okay too. We can talk it through. And we know the location pretty well, and given that a group of residents from the apartment building nearby had helped in the last negotiation with the settlement agreement with Infusion, or Myas's place. I assume those same sorts of concerns might be in place, but your business plan or what you have planned for the space might be completely different than what Armias had planned. So we'll work on an agreement that meets the needs of your business along with that of the neighborhood.
Okay, I know. I mean, I think neighbors most of the time worry about music and the parkings. And I already talked to U Street parking, but like one block I don't know exact address, and I'm trying to use those. And honestly, the place has soundproofing. The guy, he really did soundproofing, so I don't think there would be a problem with the sound. And the trash, yeah, and also the trash, it won't be a problem either because the alley, the trash company won't go inside anyway, it's closed. So
I see. Right.
those,
Yep. So, just as a matter of customary process in Adams Morgan, what we do when we get notice of a new ABC licensee, we consult the commissioner of the single member district and the ABC committee, whom you're speaking with right now. That's Commissioner Clem and myself, in order to understand what concerns the neighbors or a civic association, the neighborhood in general might have. And then working alongside you and any of the other parties involved, we come to an agreement.
okay.
Yeah, so that's generally the process. And at that time, the ANC, along with any other civic association, will vote to sign, to pass, approve that agreement. And then you can go about, we'll send that in to ABRA, and if it's needed, we'll send in our support for a stipulated license so that you can go on with your business.
Okay, thank you. I think last time I said we spoke, if you guys allow me to keep, the previous hours with the Hermes, I'm okay with it.
Okay, great. That's a good starting point. All right. Well, thank you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, that would be it.
Are there questions from members of the community? Commissioner Clem, do you have a question?
I just wanted clarification on the serving of beverages. You are planning on serving alcoholic beverages for the entire time that the establishment is open, isn't that correct? I'm just reading the application and I'm just not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Because since it's a restaurant, I think when you have a restaurant, we serve more food. It's not like a tavern or a club. It's more, we required to sell more food than alcohol anyway.
Okay, and but you will shut down the patio. I mean, this can come out in the settlement agreement also, but the patio will be closed at 11 p.m. Is that correct? There won't be any people on the patio after 11 p.m.?
That would be, it's good, yeah.
Okay, just checking. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Clem. I see.
Hi, this is Dennis James.
Go right ahead.
Am I being heard?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Amir, this is Dennis James. Am I being heard?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Mr. James, go right ahead.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Thank you. Well, a couple things. This is a new application. It has nothing to do with infusion, and I wouldn't want anything that was bargained for by somebody else to carry over to this establishment. It's a clean slate, starting over, and totally unrelated. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a new license. So that's kind of the main point that I would like to make. But I would encourage the committee to pass a resolution to protest the application so that it's ready to do so at its next business meeting, because you have to have standing, So I look forward to meeting Mr. Amante.
Sure.
So I'm the president of the Panorama Citizens Association. We're very active in ABC matters in the neighborhood for good reason, because we have so many ABC establishments in the neighborhood. So anyway, I don't want to go into a big thing here, and I don't want to try to negotiate in public. I don't think that's ever a good idea. But, I think that the business in front of the commission would be to vote a resolution to protest, a recommendation to the full commission. So that's about it for right now on this one.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. James. It sounds like we will be able to reach an agreement before the next meeting. But if in the case that we are unable to reach a settlement agreement before the next meeting, then I would certainly recommend a protest of the application so that it would give us more time to reach a settlement agreement. Whether we pass that tonight, that recommendation tonight before our October meeting or not, I think Commissioner Clem, what do you think about passing something tonight?
I guess I'm confused about the process. I'm confused about the process. Passing what? What are we passing tonight?
So customarily, right? It's not a matter of custom, but a matter of process is that ABRA sends a notice that there's a new applicant for an alcohol license within ANC 1C. The commission receives that notice and must act according to the dates in the notice, including there is always a protest petition deadline within the notice. That deadline is, I think this particular one is sometime in October, as well as the next applicant that's on our agenda. Meaning, and our ANC can only pass official acts at a meeting of the full commission. So we would need to do that at our next ANC meeting, which is the first Wednesday in October. Now, if we were to reach a settlement agreement prior to then what we would do, we wouldn't be protesting at the October meeting. What we would do is just approve the settlement agreement that has been reached, or we would vote on the settlement agreement that has been reached. If we were to not reach a settlement agreement prior to the October meeting, that would be our only opportunity to pass a protest resolution, and that would afford us time to iron out any differences in a settlement agreement between the parties in the neighborhood, ANC Civic Association members, and the applicant. Without passing that at our next meeting, then we're essentially just waiving that right. So we would give free rein to whatever the applicant wants, and the neighborhood would not have a voice in it. Does that help with the process? Is that a
Yes, thank you. So if that is the case, then tonight we vote to say that we will move forward with the application, and then in the next 3 weeks, deal with the settlement agreement. And then if we don't have one by October 6th, we can then protest it. So it sounds to me like there's no point in protesting it currently. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we could protest it regardless at the October 6th meeting, regardless of what we're saying tonight.
Exactly. Okay, then that's fine. I would like, I recognize some of the concerns in the neighborhood, and but I would like to move forward with the application and work with the applicant in the next 3 weeks so that we can get something to the October 6th meeting. Fine.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So having said that, I think that addresses what Mr. James was saying. about the protest, and I hope that clears up the process for you, Commissioner Clem. So if there are there any other questions regarding Entice Lounge? Mr. Amante, thank you for joining us.
Hold on, Amir.
Oh.
Sorry, if Dennis, it looks like he raised his hand again. If you want to hear him.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. Thanks, Gordon. Go ahead, Dennis.
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
My point was simply that it's good to get all your ducks in a row. The roll call hearing is on November 1st, and that won't, you obviously would have to file your protest on October 12th. And it just so that there's knowledge in the community that this is a matter that's going to be on the agenda for October, and that it's being taken seriously, and a protest is a possible thing. I mean, you just can't be sure what's going to happen unless you have a signed agreement. So I just think it's better to dot your T's and all that, cross your T's and dot your I's, and then work to make it come out the way that Amir has suggested, but there's no guarantees at this point. Anyway, sorry to go on. That's all for right now.
Thank you, Mr. James. I would like to pass something tonight that just by virtue of us passing it, it will place it on our agenda for the October 6th meeting. That the ABC and I move that the ABC and Public Safety Committee recommends that ANC1C consider the new restaurant ABC license application for Entice Lounge at our October 6th meeting. Do I have a second?
I think it's a point of order, but could we say, yes, could we say everything you just said, and then say, with the stipulation that we have a settlement agreement on October 6th, or would that automatically be the discussion on October 6th?
Yeah, that would automatically. So the fact that we're considering it would mean, whatever that is, could be a settlement agreement, could be a protest, but it's just on our agenda for October 6th.
I second that then. I second your point.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that is, so it's on our agenda for October 6th. Mr. Amante, thank you for joining the meeting. And moving to the next item, the Glory is another ABC, prospective ABC licensee. Glory will be located at 2406 18th Street, and is Mr. Ibrahim on the call?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I done?
Yes, Mr. Amante,
okay.
Thank you for joining.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Good night. Yep. And so Mr. Ibrahim represents the applicant at Glory. So let's just unmute.
You should be able to unmute yourself.
You hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, lack of knowledge. How are you, everybody? How are you? Today I'm here just to see what you want to know about 2406. My name is Zakaria Ibrahim. I represent Adi Jones. I believe Adi Jones will speak with Mr. Amir to represent himself and his personality to him. And I spoke today with Mr. Amir regarding what exactly Mr. Adi is trying to do, which it is about just not to be clubby. It is about being lounge, selling Jamaican food. He got good chef. I believe that is gonna make a good sell in that area, especially when he did that area had no Jamaican food for so long. And he's just gonna promote peace, order, and quiet as the requirement of the ANC is seeking a liquor license not to have banned as we explained to Mr. Amir, that's not what he's trying to target. He's gonna play lounge music. It's not loud. Also, we have a door which is going inside the building, and the building have another door, and it is a commercial in the top. And regarding the sound, it will be in control, adjust by Abra. We will see the music before we open until we adjust the sound system. And also, I believe he's trying to make couple of deal with two parking around his area to see how he can attract people to go that parking, and he will share that with them so we don't bring traffic to and also we're gonna promote to give details about the street. If somebody's coming, he has to be aware there is couple of parking, but there is not a chance to park in the street, or you don't try to look for parking in the street. It's a residential, and you will be ticket because of the zone. And that's gonna be part of his a little bit promotion to his client. I don't know if you have any questions more to have.
Well, thank you for thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for that.
I appreciate. I was not aware. I just got caught in the middle like an hour, 2 hours ago, as I explained to you.
Okay. And I first want to turn to Commissioner Clem. Do you have questions for Mr. Ibrahim?
No, I believe I'm gonna, as we agree today, just try to, I may send you the plan or the idea of Mr. Adi. Or if you like to meet and we discuss so we can settle that voluntary agreement with you guys to satisfy it, that relation and the neighbor and the ANC, and to create some kind of relation with Mr. Adi and you guys, and just it will be a good relation. I don't think that he's coming there to create problem or thinking about doing that. He's already living DC and he knows what is going on, and he will try to keep the peace and order. It is not he's trying to attract clubby crowd or loud music or standing outside after closing the place or throwing food. Even the idea of allowing food is gonna be in a plastic bag, saying that just seal it when you finish, you throw it in the nearest belong, and things like that, to let the crowd aware that we are here not to make dirt or to make crowd or to create problem, and all of that is gonna be just a little bit guide a little bit from his side.
Okay. Yeah, understood. And Mr. Eddie Jones is the applicant.
Yes.
Yep. And Mr. Ibrahim, are you representing him, or are you in business with him?
No, I'm representing him.
Representing him. Okay, understood.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Clem, do you have questions for Mr. Ibrahim?
Yes, thank you. Hello, Mr. Ibrahim. I'm Fiona Clem. I have two questions. One is, what kind of food will you be selling? And the second is, the application asks for 8 sidewalk seats. Are you planning on adding a streetery, or will those just be next?
I just no. I now just open the application, and what you had mentioned, I don't think that's gonna be anything, and it will not be processed. He filled up the application himself, even as sees the hour of operation and all of that. I work with you guys because I didn't fill up the application, I just represent. So I see some kind of thing which we're gonna take it out of the application. Just if you give me a minute, because I just only like while that hearing is start, and I see also he didn't understand some of the answer of the question regarding the operation of the liquors and the operation of the entertainment, which I don't believe that anybody in the world is gonna have entertainment from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. That's, I believe he didn't understand that. It will be corrected, it will be taken out, and also about sidewalk, all of that. It is not good in 18th Street, especially in his corner. I remember his corner very good. If he even put a sofa outside, it's gonna destroy the peace, if you understand. So I don't believe that having table outside it would be an issue. We will not have one. No. It is answering your question? Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't think that sidewalk cafes are not an issue. I was just wondering if they were going to be next to the restaurant or if they were going to be created as a streetery, as a segment of the street, if there was going to be an application for that special.
Excuse me from that questions in detail. Excuse me from it. If it is not necessary, I can respond regarding that when I get back to Mr. Adi tonight or tomorrow. But I assist Mr. Adi with the knowledge of 18th Street. And I know I deal with ANC long ago, and I know what hard you guys trying to do. And I'm with you. But here you go. We have to adjust that generation, not to break them, but we can guide them, just to make them understand. When we are in them ages, we go out, we make noise, we make that, but we can adjust that. And that's Mr. Ali. I did explain to him about the area and what really they don't like. And I was aware, and I like to see Adam Morgan beautiful. It's a piece of nice area. I love it. And I always dream of this area to be like part of Paris, like Champs-Élysées. It's a nice night, nice houses, everything.
Thank you. I was curious, what kind of food will the establishment?
Jamaican. I
Oh.
say Jamaican.
Okay, sorry if I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Excuse my English. I would mind.
Those are all my
Okay,
questions, Commissioner. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Clem. Are there questions? I see you have a hand up for Mr. James. Mr. James, feel free to unmute your microphone.
Hi, is this Zachariah Ibrahim?
Yes, Mr. James. How are you?
Good. I thought I recognized your voice, although the audio is very poor and it's not coming through very clearly. I would just again encourage the ANC to pass a similar resolution that they did in the previous establishment, and that we would get together to discuss all the issues, of which there are many there. It's been a very troubled location since the year 2000 when Felix was there, and then there was New York Diva, and there was a couple of other names before then that I can't remember, but they all had problems. And there's trash issues, there's not good trash systems in the back. I'm not even sure there's a full kitchen, although that I haven't been in there for a long time, so I don't know. Anyway, we, look forward to discussing it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. James, and good to hear your voice.
Excellent. Excellent. Other questions from members of the audience?
Yes.
Nikolai. Yeah, go right ahead.
My name is Nikolai. Hello, Mr. Ibrahim. It's good that you're coming here and speaking to us. I like what you said about making Adams Morgan like Paris.
I love to. Trust me. If you allow me, I make a team with the government and I make it the most beautiful part in this.
Okay.
And I tell the police before, you don't use car, use horse. Make people that we are something else. That's in a different hearing long ago. But let's get back, Mr. Ahmad.
Okay. I don't completely understand the process that goes on here. I assume there's going to be another meeting about this location and the business plan, etc. And is that true? Am I correct?
Yes. As I spoke with Mr. Amir today, and I tell him even if he can excuse me.
So will people like me be able to come to this meeting?
Sure.
Okay. Then I'm going to just mention, kind of echoing what Mr. James said. I live in back of it.
Good. Okay.
It's been problematic almost all the time I've lived here, except when the Ethiopian restaurant was there. Okay. I have toured the kitchen. It's not a kitchen. It's not really a restaurant kitchen at all. The last people that were there, all they did was sell frozen food, and their restaurant license was a masquerade to open up a nightclub. They did not obey the number of people that could come in, the capacity. The noise was absolutely unbelievable, even with soundproofing and the extra door that you mentioned. This is particularly true because the kind of music they had involved woofers. Mm-hmm. So what we're mainly concerned about, those of us who are maybe 12, 20 feet away from the back, is the fact that as soon as it said entertainment, then we're concerned that it is really a nightclub. There are other issues that we had was with the courtyard in back, people making out back there, God forbid, people fighting back there, and then the dumping of the bottles, hundreds and hundreds of them, really late at night, and also what were called private parties. And private parties apparently could go on after closing time. So in effect, the place never shut down. I just gave up sleeping in my bedroom and I slept in another room facing Belmont. But there are many units, they don't have that option. So we're very, very, very concerned about woofers and that it really is a nightclub and not a restaurant, especially given the fact that if the kitchen's the same, and I understand there's construction going on there now.
It is a replacement for the kitchen.
What's that?
Replacement for the kitchen.
Okay, audio is pretty bad, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah, no, I heard you clearly. I didn't hear Mr. James, but I don't know now. You say that you cannot hear me, but I hear you very good.
Oh, okay. I can hear you better now. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Okay, let me stay in this position. Well, now you have experience, and now we have a new tenant. I believe your experience is correct. Even I don't hang around 18th Street, I get old, I don't go over there. But when it was time, I was there. I see all that. I see even that Ethiopian, it was, both of them was a club. Next door to the Ethiopian was Mr. Adi, and the other one in the right. It was one club, I think the owner is still in 18th Street was a different place. The problem is when we play music, we call it entertainment, and now entertainment can be club, it is a music. So now we don't know how to describe when we say we want to be a lounge. I believe too, that noise, before Mr. Adi gonna open, I'm gonna have Abra to come to adjust, to see the music and to adjust. And we see how we can protect it before we open. Trust me, maybe for the first time, maybe I represent somebody in 18th Street and I just represent a good man. I know as much and I give him all kinds of advice, maybe for almost a month, what he's facing, what he's dealing with.
With all due respect, Abra was no help to us at all. They also have to come into our bedrooms to measure the noise at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Now, I'm trying to see how we can work out things. If everything I'm gonna mention is gonna be restricted from your experience, I don't know if Abrash is authorized somewhere, and that noise is legally, it's gonna be okay, and we will be sure. I can come to your area and while we blame the music to see how we can, because first at all, it is nothing here to give you headache. We don't need to build a relation because Mr. Adi here gonna create a business next to residential to bother with you. It will not happen. It's not disrespectful even at all. But let's see how we can work, how we can avoid music reaching to you, even if it's gonna cost him some money. To see how we can, somehow we are in 2021, the technology beating everything. So we're not gonna beat that noise to go out or travel, we will. If there is a problem with the kitchen, we will. Trust me, this facility trying to be repaired, I'm over there. If you want me anytime, while they doing that, decoration, there is no construction as you mentioned. There is no construction. It's replacement. Some of the flyer is not look good no more. It's replaced. The hood cleaning, but I don't think anything more than cleaning, making, excuse me, the floor. Think it is not construction. And I can make a meeting not tomorrow, or can I make tomorrow? Anytime after 3 o'clock. I'm open. I don't manipulate the law. And I don't like to lie and put my client even in a corner. So now it's clear. If you have a problem because people before, now we're having someone with a lease and he's processing and he's complying with your law. We have to try that. I cannot make him lose his chance because someone else take that one. So we can work out the noise. We can work anything. I didn't hear Mr. James clearly. But of course, he have an issue, and if this issue exists, we will just work it out. And I'm open. Just tell me what time, and you have my phone number. We will be there, and we see how we can help that going.
I'll talk to Mr. James and to the Calorama Citizens Association. Although I have to say, we've also had that offer in the past before. You can call me anytime. The past managers have said we did, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
No. I'm not gonna open that club before you be happy. Okay? Give me a number, and I don't need to open this place. I can call you or call whoever come like to experience, and we can see how we make this place to satisfy.
Thank you. Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, sir.
And Nikolai. Thank you both for coming on.
Welcome.
As you can see that, Mr. Ibrahim, there are issues that, can be addressed in a settlement agreement. And this is why we have these processes, as you know, very well, because this isn't your first time representing somebody. So, Commissioner Clem, I move that we.
Hey, Amir.
Commissioner, Mr.
Yeah.
Hargrove has something to say.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm on my phone tonight, so I don't see the hands raised as easily as when I'm on my computer. Larry, please go right ahead.
I don't think there's need for me to say very much more in light of the discussion that has we've just heard on this location and the proposed commercial operation in the location. It has had a very troubled and checkered history in the past, as growing in part out of problems with the management, but also growing in part out of its location in relation to residential occupancy. So I think it is really a no-brainer candidate for a protest unless an acceptable settlement agreement can be worked out, and the procedure that you've adopted with respect to the earlier item on the agenda seems to me to be quite appropriate for this one.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you, Larry. So having said that, are there any other hands raised or anyone that would like to speak? Okay. Seeing none, I move that we adopt a recommendation to that the full ANC consider the restaurant license application of Glory, which will be located at 2406 18th Street at its October 6th meeting. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, so and that concludes the business for tonight.
Commissioner, I have a point of a question.
Okay, yeah, tell me. Point of information.
Okay, thank you. For the people on the call and who are interested in, I mean, how do the people interested get into discussions with the settlement agreement discussions?
Yeah, so you can email members of this committee or your ANC commissioner and we will involve those people in those negotiations, those residents in those negotiations. So yeah, please feel free to. Thank you, Commissioner Clem. Nikolai, you had already emailed in advance of this meeting. We'll keep you in the loop here, and yeah, we will be in touch with the applicants soon, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Commissioner.